Tensions continue to climb in the Middle East as they move closer to a full regional war there. In response to Iran's missile attack, Israel has vowed retaliation. The chief of general staff says that they have the capabilities to strike any point in the Middle East, and enemies will soon understand. And this comes as we near the one-year mark of the October 7th attack by Hamas on Israel, where militants killed 1,200 people and abducted hundreds more. Fox News chief foreign correspondent Trey Yingst was reporting on the ground on October 7th, witnessing it all firsthand, and he joins us now from Haifa, Israel. Trey, good morning to you.
Bill, good morning.
So tell us where you were on October 7th of last year and what you experienced that day.
Yeah, on the morning of October 7th, I was in Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv. I got a call from my producer at 7:03 in the morning, and she said something's happening in the south. And so we did what we always do. We headed toward the Gaza border amid incoming rocket fire to try and report on what was taking place. We didn't know at that time that it was an infiltration by Hamas coming from Gaza into southern Israel. And so this book sort of pieced this together that day, but also it was, for us, very challenging because we were there at an intersection that turned into a triage point. Injured soldiers and civilians were being brought to this location on the morning of October 7th, and they had bullet wounds. And this was an indication to us that something had gone terribly wrong. This was not a traditional rocket attack, but rather an infiltration. And so we stayed there, and we reported throughout the day to try to let the world know what was happening to Israel in real time.
So, Trey, in your new book, Black Saturday, an unfiltered account of the October 7th attack on Israel and the war in Gaza, you share your experience and you give insight into the magnitude of the conflict, and a lot, as you know, has been made about the Israeli response to October 7th, their vow to completely wipe Hamas out. Now, considering the atrocities committed by Hamas in the initial attack, what's your take on Israel's response to this point?
So I covered this in the book as well. It was really important for me to cover not only what happened on the morning of October 7th, a massacre against the civilian population, but also to cover what took place in the Israeli response. And that has led to the deaths of tens of thousands of civilians inside Gaza. And so the book takes an approach that is straight down the middle, talking to everyone involved, from hostages who were released as part of the November ceasefire deal to Palestinian civilians who were directly affected by this conflict, to get the reader a better understanding of what war is like. It is horrific, and there are no winners in any war, and this war is no exception.
Hezbollah ramping up their attacks in the north, which is essentially Iran's proxy army at the border, and Iran firing missiles into Tel Aviv earlier this week. There is major concern, as you know, of a full-blown war in the Middle East. So what do you think? Is it inevitable?
I think it's already starting. We've been into southern Lebanon with the Israeli army. We were the first journalists to enter since 2006. And we saw firsthand as the Israelis launched their ground operation against Hezbollah. And it's unfolding as we speak. There are more Israeli troops being pushed into positions inside Lebanon. There are questions today about how the Israelis will respond to that Iranian ballistic missile attack. The war inside Gaza continues. There are still threats from other Iranian proxies like the Houthis in Yemen. And so that broader regional conflict is already underway from our perspective, and we'll continue to report on it, but it is unpredictable, and it's a very dangerous time for the region.
Well, the U.S. has tried diplomacy and now moving ships, troops, jets to the Middle East in support of Israel. So at this point, does the U.S. actively step in, and what do you think that would look like if so?
Yeah, at this point, it's been only defense they've been playing, and we saw that during the ballistic missile attack. The Pentagon says that a number of Iranian ballistic missiles were shot down by American projectiles. But when we look forward, as this expands and the possibility of a broader war with Iran, the United States could get more directly involved. At this point, their presence in the region, and it's extensive, is to act as a deterrent force to the Iranians and encourage them not to continue attacks against Israel. But at this point, it's not working, and the war continues.
The book is called Black Saturday, an unfiltered account of the October 7th attack on Israel and the war in Gaza. Trey Yingst, our chief foreign correspondent, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.